Hey girls, it's Reina. If you are watching this video, you're probably wanting more tips on how to isolate correctly and place on those lash extensions because we all know how difficult it can be, especially in the beginning. A full set can take anywhere between 2.5 hours long. Main reason why is because of our isolation process. So in this video, I am going to be giving you girls the best tips that I know on how you girls can properly isolate those lashes. So let's get started. First and foremost, we are using Beauty Reina lash supplies, of course. And the first one we are using is the Beauty Reina's Little Boot Tweezer to make our fans. If you can see, while I'm making my fan, I'm also holding my isolation tweezer at the same time. When you are going into place on your lash extension, you want to create your fan first, isolate second, then place on the extension, adding the adhesive last. Throughout the set, you would be switching out your tweezers if necessary, and what I mean by that, we have our straight tweezers, J-curve tweezers, and 45-degree angle tweezers that are all very helpful to use to isolate. Sometimes you would be needing to swap out multiple tweezers within the same set. Starting with tip number 1. When you girls are going into isolate, the key thing is starting off at the very base of the natural lash. You want your tweezers to be angled, once again, at the very base of the natural lash, not at the tips. The higher up you have your isolation tweezer, it will prevent you from isolating the baby hairs correctly. Tip number 2, when you are going in to place on your lash extensions, make sure that when you're placing on your extension, the glue is not touching any of the natural lashes, especially the tips of the extension. Make sure you have a wide enough opening and make sure those extensions are not in your way before you place on that lash fan. Otherwise, your glue will touch the tips and they will get everywhere. So once again, we are going to be starting at the very base of the natural lashes when we go into isolate. And once you're placing that extension on, remember it needs to be 1 to 2 millimeters above the eyelid, never touching the eyelid. When you girls are going into place on that extension, make sure the glue does not touch the other extensions. Otherwise, they can get stuck together when you brush them out. If you feel like your hands are shaking, placement is everything to have that stability. So when we are going in to isolate, especially using our less dominant hand, another reason why you want to rest the tweezer at the very base of the eyelid is so you have stability and it's not shaking all over the place. When I'm going in with my right hand, the one that has the fan making tweezer, if you girls can see, I do like to rest either my pinky finger or my ring finger on the gel pad when I'm placing on the extension, once again for stability. Now let's get into these inner corners. Inner corners are a little bit harder to get than the rest of the natural lashes because they are more damaged and more shorter than the middle section and outer corner. When we are working with inner corners or even trying to isolate baby hairs, not only do you want to rest at the very base of the natural lash, but the key thing is when you're going into isolate, you want to have minimum to no opening with your tweezer. So once again, the key thing is having minimum to no opening, just like you see right now, to just let one extension slide in. Once you think you have that one extension inside of your tweezer, push all the way in so your tweezers touch your gel pads, and then go ahead and rest it on there to apply on the extension. If this video was helpful for you, please like and subscribe and comment. It also determines what video I will be posting next depending on what you girls want.